Yes, glad you guys tuned in. Episode 48, the Best of Rivals podcast. I'm Jordan J. Will, and I got my boy D. Bev in the building with me.
Hello, hello, hello. My bad, I was muted. Jay, it's been a great week of football. How you been though overall? I'll ask you for the first time ever on this podcast. How are you as an individual?
I haven't heard this one from you in a while, so it's kind of surprising. Um, bro, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with everybody. We living in some crazy times right now, and I feel like everybody can relate. It's a lot going on, and a lot to filter, and kind of just sit through and digest. So I'm doing the best I can do. Um, every day is something new, but I'm taking it and I'm moving with it. Um, Staying active, always trying to learn and grow. So I'm doing the best I can do, bro. I don't know how you feeling, but
I love that. I love that. Yeah, all good. Jay making a lot of moves in the podcast, out the podcast.
yeah,
Um, you know, this. To be honest with you, this weekend was a lot of football though. It was a lot of football. I mean, today was what, 3 games, just back to back to back. I mean, um, but yeah, just vibing. Obviously, in the new place now, comfortable.
right,
So,
right. How
um,
was that? How was that? Like you moved from I thought was a pretty nice spot to I'm hoping another nice spot as well. So
another nice spot, a lot bigger. It's almost double the size.
yeah.
So yeah, can't vibing now. So, can't complain, Jay. Can't complain. Listen, we're not living like the footballers. Let's keep it real now. We're not getting paid 100 grand a
Hey,
week, but
not yet, but
not yet. That's the
you
key.
know,
That's the key. Absolutely.
um, speaking of the footballers though, uh, we had a lot of, I guess you can say, big games between, you know, two clubs who are on the same level. And one of them was Arsenal and Chelsea. Two teams in London. Arsenal is probably the team in London right now. Chelsea was a team in the past,
Yeah.
and that game kind of, I guess, was just uh, um, another like I guess statement and something to certify what's been going on in the season, and that's Arsenal number one and Chelsea no identity, trying to find something. Very boring football. Arsenal gets the W 1-0. Was it a convincing W though? We talked about this earlier with them. They get these wins, but are they do they sound like oh, okay, I can see them winning the title, or is it just they slip by because it was a corner by Saka, kind of goal. We don't really know deflection. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, what was it?
Yeah. I mean, listen, a goal is a goal, right? I mean, it's probably more of a Chelsea mistake than a Arsenal. Um, you know, they didn't really mean that. I mean, it's kind of lucky,
Right.
back post by Gabriel, but um, I mean, this game doesn't really tell me too much about Arsenal, to be honest with you. It tells me a lot more about Chelsea. Um, and not because of what I thought they were going to be at the start of the season. I told you I thought they were going to underperform, but I thought Graham Potter was going to come in and kind of like change things up, like but get it right early. I think there's a lot of really really easy things that he can get right today, and I don't think he's got those right, bro. That midfield, he's got to make decisions, man. He's got to start making decisions about this lineup, this formation. Um, One of the players that I don't know if you know on, but on Twitter, Zakaria, he's trending literally every single game because he hadn't played, right.
Yeah.
He come on loan from Juventus, hasn't played for the first time in the Champions League game, scored scored on his Chelsea debut, and now he's on the bench again, bro. Like, I'm sorry, you got to start playing these guys, bro. If it's not working, switch it up. And I think I also saw on Twitter they're talking about Potter out after what, you know, a month. So it's looking real bad over there at Chelsea, man. Really, really bad.
Are we surprised?
No, I mean, like in terms of how clubs are run, I probably hate how Tottenham's run the most. But
Yeah.
next, after that, bro, it's got to be Chelsea, bro. Like you know how I feel about these guys, man. The way that they move, I really, really, really dislike it.
I
Um,
mean, people, thought I was a fool for saying at one point Chelsea and Man United are in the same position.
you called it 100%. It's like, the commentators and like the broadcasters today, they were talking about Chelsea's in a rebuild. How do you spend that much in the summer with a rebuild? It's not a rebuild. They're saying it's a rebuild because they're playing like trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think, I remember at the start of the season when they got Cucurella. We were going to get him for about 40 mil. Chelsea stepped in, put an extra 20 mil on the table. And everyone on Twitter is like, oh my God, what a signing. Cucurella, he's amazing. Now everyone on Twitter is like, yo, we wasted money on this guy. Of course you did. Now, it's good you guys got a left back because now Chilwell's out. And we'll
right.
probably talk about the World Cup a little bit later this month in terms of like the amount of injuries and is this World Cup even going to be good? But you know, sure they have a left back that's not injured, fantastic. But like Aubameyang, another one, they thought that he was going to be the solution for goals. It's they're playing Sterling like right mid, right wing back, dude. It's just all over the place at this point. But Arsenal. I think Arsenal at the same time are just proving that, bro, uh, these guys are the real deal. Like, there's
Oh,
nothing else to say. There's nothing
hey,
else to say.
and credit to them. At the end of the day, these are tough games. A game that we didn't get. We tied with Chelsea 1-1. So
Yeah,
shouts to them. They're grinding it out, finding a way to get these W's, and basically just stay ahead of City. That's their race right now. They don't care about anybody else but City.
yeah.
So as long as they win and keep that pressure on Pep and the squad to, match them in W's, Arsenal fine. And then they're also getting, a key player back pretty soon, and Emil Smith Rowe, I'm pretty sure. So, um,
He'll probably be back after the World Cup, right? And that's just another player because that's really the issue with
that's
Arsenal, right?
and
Like
no, we talked about it, right? I don't mean to cut you off, but City's a little deeper. They have
a
players
lot
on the
deeper,
bench.
a lot deeper.
I'm just being,
You're trying to be nice. I
modest,
get it.
right?
Yeah,
But yeah, so adding a player like Smith Rowe, who at one point last season, I think dude was banging in at least 10 goals, or
it was like 10 goals, a bunch of assists. Yeah, serious player,
exactly
serious
plays the
player.
same position, I believe, as Odegaard a little bit. So
Yeah, he's like he's versatile, bro. He's a 10. He can play the wide positions. He's a good player for
yeah.
sure.
Do you think this adds any firepower for them, or
Oh yeah, 100%. Because like we're talking about, I mean, their first 11 really really good. Then after that, you're kind of looking at scraps. You know what I mean? Like
yeah?
Vieira, Lakanga, El Neni. These guys aren't great. So I think the question that we're all going to have about Arsenal now is: are they sustainable? Can they continue? And with Jesus now not scoring in, I believe, his last 10 games, maybe 9, 10 games, it's like
Yes, it's something like that.
now, as a City fan, I know that he's capable of not scoring, of being more of a winger, or more of a team player. And guess what? He's playing well in basically all of these games. He's just not finishing. Um, However, is the way he's playing now sustainable? At the end of the day, Arsenal are going to need goals. Teams get tired over the course of the season. They play a bunch of games. These guys will get tired. The goals will run out. And I'm telling you, if Gabriel Jesus is not scoring 15 plus goals this season, Arsenal's not even going to get close to winning. They're just not. So you got to start banging them in, to be honest with you.
He won't though, and that's been the thing with him. And this is
Yeah.
no, slander on his name. I'm not coming at him. AFC, don't listen. I'm not shaming the man, but Jesus has never been a goal scorer. He's been a player that's getting you involved, can bang in a few here and there, but the focus of his game has never to been score goals.
Yep.
So I think this is just letting them know they have to go out in the transfer market, maybe January, maybe next summer.
They got to do
Um,
it January, right? But, like, here's the thing: they're literally they've started better than Arsenal has ever started in the history of Arsenal. There's no way the owners don't back Arteta in January. You have to go
wait,
for
wait,
the
wait,
title,
wait.
right?
You said the best start in the history of Arsenal. Didn't they
Arsenal have
have
never.
The
Arsenal,
unbeaten.
no, I'm saying Arsenal have never started better in terms of points. They,
Okay,
they've
okay,
they've got more
okay.
points after 13
Got you.
games than ever before. There's no way
Okay.
you don't go for the title this year. So my thing is like I think they have to get two players in the summer. Sorry,
Mm,
in January. I think it's probably going to be like a midfielder, and if they get a striker, Ivan Tony, I'm hearing a lot about that. Um, it could get interesting. But I'm kind of praying at this point because Man City's pretty vulnerable. This season, in some areas. So I don't want it to be a close race. To be honest with you, I kind of just want to like get it over with so we can focus on Champions League. But
yeah. I
um,
mean, and speaking of Man City, your squad, you guys squeak by, and I've realized a lot of your victories recently have been you guys just kind of clicking at the right moment,
it's not great. It's not
finding a
great for
way.
90
But
minutes.
but but
Yeah,
hey, but listen though, listen. I think that's perfect. You're in a position right now where it's very rare. You know, you've won so much. You've gotten accustomed to being number one. It's not gonna be pretty. You're not gonna be dominating like you've done for the past 5 or 6 years.
yeah.
So I think the fact that you guys are still getting these W's, to me,
That
that's
yeah
says a lot.
yeah. I mean, typically, but bro, that Fulham game, bro,
Cause
that was
I know,
lucky,
yeah,
bro.
no.
That was
Just think
lucky.
about it. We're gonna dive into it, but think about it. We would always give Liverpool and Klopp credit
True. Good point.
because they used to always find a way to get those W's at the end of the day.
Good
They're
point.
gonna win. So I think we got to give City some credit too. Speaking of Fulham, you guys kind of struggled with that game a little bit.
We
Our,
played
our
really well the first half. The first half, bro, we're moving. We just didn't get the goal.
Right, exactly. You didn't get the goal. The execution wasn't there. Maybe Holland not starting had something to do with it. Alvarez played amazing though.
Alvarez played
Sleeper for you
well.
guys.
I think
I like him a lot.
I think he did get the goal first half, but
He
I
did. He
like
did.
we should have had more.
He had a goal. Yeah,
Bro, I'm telling you about Alvarez, bro. I told you at the start of the season, this guy's mini Aguero. I told you, bro.
you did. You
Really,
did.
really, really
But
good.
let me say though, before I buy in with the hype with Alvarez, you also told me about Torres, Ferran Torres.
Yeah, he was good. He was good for us. He was good. He was good. Jay, he was
so
good
now,
for us.
so now I'm kind of scared. Now I'm kind of scared. I don't know.
Nah,
I
no,
gotta
no,
I
no,
gotta
no.
beware of this kid.
That's a fair point. But before we started the podcast, what 3, 4 years ago, I remember watching Phil Foden's first game,
Yeah.
bro. So like Cole Palmer told you about him.
Okay.
Listen,
Okay.
I'm not lying about these youngsters, Jay. We got some youngsters. I'm telling you,
Yeah. Um. But one of your players, who I think has been, he's been a very weird player to assess for me. Cancelo. When he's on his P's and Q's, he's probably up there with KDB as your best player. That's how like influential he is.
Most impactful, yeah, probably
Yeah.
him.
Most
Kev,
impactful. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Foden. You guys have like a little
He's
trio.
up there. Yeah, he's
He's
up
up
there.
there. But when he's not in the game mentally or just I don't know what it is.
I know what it is. The guy is lazy. Like you said, he lacks concentration. He's one of the more frustrating players to watch because what he does going forward is brilliant. Even defending, he can be decent at times.
Yeah,
He single handedly lost his Liverpool game, and he almost lost his this game. Um,
very
and
very like just brainless decision. I don't understand what.
brainless. It's because it's out of position.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make up for a mistake I made. Like that's what he is as a player. He's like it's very frustrating because he doesn't take accountability. I don't listen. I've never met the guy. I've never talked to the guy. I don't coach the guy. I don't manage the guy. But it seems like he's the type of like attitude and character that I wouldn't like at my team.
yeah,
I'll be completely honest. However, again, going forward, he's fantastic. It's one of those things where similar to a Trent. I mean, it's a lot different, but there are some similarities of like, do you just take the good with the bad? Take the bad with the good. I think that's one of the things with Cancelo at this point. So disappointing, but whatever.
I mean, Pep obviously sees you have to do that with him. They had a nice little conversation as
Pep was being
Cancelo was.
so nice with him. So nice with him.
And you know, Cancelo was frustrated, obviously so. You know,
So
I think there's a bigger story there, man. I don't know. I think there's a chance that he may be leaving soon. I wouldn't be surprised if someone else offered Cancelo a contract and he bounces. Um,
maybe. I mean, listen, we do have two left backs available. Sergio Gomez and then Brand. He's one of our youngsters as well. But
and Gomez, when he's played, to me has looked like you
he's
can
looked
just
pretty. I
fill him
told
in
you,
and he looks solid. You know,
looks
so
really solid. Yeah,
you know, but this is just us trying to pick a problem with City. That's how good you guys are.
it's a
We're
good
trying
point.
to find a problem. Holland comes in and saves the day. Uh,
Yeah, not a very good penalty.
it
Not a
wasn't.
very good
It
penalty.
wasn't. It wasn't a
Yo,
good penalty.
Leno had such a bad game. I bet all the Arsenal fans are like, "Yo, are you serious? This is the
Hey,
one game where we
hey,
wanted you to go crazy." And you know,
hey! Shouts to our former boy though. I gotta say, a lot of our former boys who play for the club have
don't
been
you dare say
shining.
Pereira.
Pereira.
He's so bad, bro. You know, to be fair, he's had a good season. To be fair, he's had a good season.
You know,
But bro,
it's crazy.
this
They shine.
nah, no, no, no. This guy, oh, Dan James, he's on the team too.
Hmm.
He was running
Hmm.
around a little bit, you know, just as usual.
You know what I'm saying, bro.
Jay, he's the only player that runs on the bench. Like he's the only one, Jay. Dude, that guy.
Uh,
Man.
Dan
Yeah,
James, I
yeah.
miss him.
We probably had more Dan James references on the podcast than like any other player, if you really think about it. It's
No,
crazy.
bro. At one point, Dan James was he's a trending topic. It was him. Phil Jones is up there too.
Yeah, we love
Phil
Phil.
Phil Phil had a like, nice little run with us.
I think he's playing golf now. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I just know we blocked him out of the dressing room.
Bro,
You know,
imagine getting paid to literally like not come into work.
you called it though. You called it. I try like I got really. I don't know. I think I was talking about it one podcast episode, and he was like, "Don't feel sorry for this guy." He's like, he's found a way to finesse the system. Basically, he's getting paid all this bread, and then next thing you know, when Ten Hag came, the story came out. He was like, he told Phil Jones, "No, like you are basically you're using us."
Well, here's and the reason it's not the reason it's like, yo, don't feel bad for this guy is because he doesn't have the right to say, I just want to play football. He does not have the
Yeah,
right to say that because if he
yeah,
did, he would clearly go to the Man U and yep, terminate my 100,000 a week contract or
exactly.
80,000, whatever he's getting paid, and he would go play for a club in the lower end of the Premier League or Championship, and he would be playing every week. Like, you don't think he'd be playing every week for like Burnley or
Right.
a team like? Of course he would. So it's like, bro, he just wants to collect his money. And here's the thing: I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Yeah,
You know, you're only a professional for so long. It's Manchester United's fault that they were morons for paying this guy as much as they have, re-upping contracts for a player that doesn't play, and when he does play, he doesn't perform. So hey, if you know, there's a bunch of people on the planet that get overpaid. You know, so
yeah.
he's just another one of those.
And you know, speaking of Man United, uh, yeah, bro. Yeah, everybody. Yes, 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 yes. What we do. When you have a no B team, you know, like we said, you have no B team. Games like this against Aston Villa are games that we are terrified,
Yeah,
just terrified about because you put out a team like the one you have. Ronaldo plays, all the fanatics. He plays. Sancho's on the bench, all the fanatics. He's on the
I don't think he was on
bench.
the bench. I don't think he was on the bench. I don't think he was on the
Sancho.
bench. No,
So, oh,
I
I
took
think
a I took
he
a. I
might be
mean,
hurt then.
he's injured. Injured. He's not
Injured.
injured.
Right. I don't think he's injured, but
He's not injured.
we haven't seen him in a couple games.
Yep.
Garnacho plays again, who
Yep.
has been pretty impressive. I got to give it to him. I like the kid a little bit, but this reminds me a lot of. We're gonna dive into it right now. Um, Ten Hag just likes playing these young players, you know, in these positions where it looks like, oh, there's promise. You know, he did it with Elanga a little bit. He did it with
Maybe.
Malacia. Now he's doing it with
Maybe.
Garnacho. It's the same thing, bro. They have some nice, you know, uh
Attributes.
attributes, you know, things they can
Yeah.
include with the team, right? But we all know they're not Premier League level, especially not for Man United at least.
How? But
And
whose fault is that though? Right? Because it's if you think about it, I think, in my opinion, I think the majority of Ten Hag's decisions have been justified. Anthony's injured, which he actually is. I
Facts.
think
I agree. I agree.
they're saying Sancho's injured, so I don't think Ten Hag can do too much about that. Who do you play? He was either going to play Rashford on the left and Elanga on the right, or Garnacho on the left and Rashford on the right. That was the only
So
what other
so
option?
why so why would you put and that's my next point. Why would you put Rashford on the right?
Because no, you have to remember, bro. You have to remember. Listen, he was a working manager at Ajax. Okay, he's not sitting here watching every single game like us. So, with all due, like, he has to learn. Oh, Rashford cannot play on the right whatsoever. Oh, I didn't know that. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that, Jay. Rashford has never played on the right for him. He's now played on the right, and he knows. And guess what happened in the game? Elanga comes on. Rashford goes to the left because that's his position. He's either left or he's up front. So
Well, yeah, I mean, to me, this was a. I'm gonna be honest with you. You said Ten Hag has made a lot of, I guess, justified and right decisions, but to
yeah,
me, this was a disaster class. It was an Eric Ten Hag disaster class, and I say that because, from my knowledge at least, he had Martial back in the lineup for like the past. Listen to me. Listen to my point. For like the last week or so, he was in the rumblings like, oh, he's training, he's with the squad, right? We just had a Europa League game that absolutely mean nothing to us, and let's talk about that too while we're talking about this game. The game meant nothing, right? Because we
it
already
did mean
qualified.
something.
No, 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 no. Listen, that's what I'm saying.
Jay, that matters a lot. Jay, getting first
No,
in the Europa League group matters
listen,
so much.
but no, listen. Let me finish though. We qualified for the next round, right?
No, wrong, Jay.
Yes, we did.
You
We already
did, Jay.
qualified. That's
Jay,
what I'm
you
saying.
did. Jay, you did. But getting first, no, you did. But getting first in the group matters so much more because when you get second in the group, you now have to play an extra game.
So wait, you're adding to my point even more. Because one, I didn't get to finish, but I'm saying you play Martial in that game. One, you don't throw him in this game right here. That
He
means so
wasn't on
much
the
more.
bench. Was he on the bench in the Europa League game? I don't think he was.
No, no, he wasn't. But you, I'm telling you, the guy was already in training though.
Jay, he gets injured. He gets injured walking to the fucking to the ground. Come
So he
on,
could,
Jay.
so you telling me you throw him in the game against Villa? That's even more pressure.
He didn't start him.
But I'm saying that, but you throw him in a fucking 60 or 70 minute. Like I don't understand. It makes no sense to me.
He has
Why would
no
you play him in a
team.
rope?
He, are you
Nah,
getting
bro.
it's
No, decisions are questionable. Questionable, bro. Questionable. I'm sorry. I'm
Jay,
sorry.
Jay,
No.
the reason why we can
No.
criticize.
Listen. Stop. No. We don't play Cristiano Ronaldo. We don't start him, right? For a string of games. And what were we doing? We were winning. He was not part of the squad. We put him in. You make him captain. What happens? We lose.
That was
Ten,
questionable.
ten Hag disaster class. I'm telling you. No, stop, bro. Stop. I'm serious. I'm
That was
serious, bro.
questionable. That was questionable. You're right.
Like,
You're right. It's a good
bro, I'm
point.
telling you. The dude, he tweaked. When you play fucking Matt Rashford on the right hand side as a
Yeah.
right wing, Cristiano starting, bro, it was not gonna work to begin with at all.
You
Period.
make a great point because Rashford on the right, we all know he can't cross. We all know he provides zero service. If you look at Garnacho, he's shown over the last 2 or 3 games that he can't really provide service to Ronaldo either. I mean, yeah, for the most part. So yeah, Ronaldo's up there just like he has nothing else to do.
He
I
didn't do
get that
anything in that
it's
game, and I love Cristiano, but he didn't do anything in that game to
yeah.
save his name, to anything. So I'm saying he should have stayed on the bench regardless.
But okay, so what we're saying here is that I mean, and this isn't like a Martial that like he's got injured like once a season. This guy's injured after every 3 games, bro. I think it's justified that Martial at least is on the bench. He starts on the bench and maybe he comes on. I think that makes more sense than Martial starting and essentially playing a guaranteed 45 minutes. I don't know. Listen, here's what I think. I think a lot of these problems Ten Hag inherited. If you think about it, Man U wanted another striker. Like they wanted another striker, and the reason why Ronaldo's playing is because they didn't get one, bro. And then you talk about the injuries to the two wingers. Then you talk about the injury to Varane. All I'm saying is, I think he deserves a little bit more. like, what do you guys expect this season, bro? The reality is
Nah, bro.
you guys should be finishing sixth this season. That's the
I
reality. But
I I I
Ten
can't.
Hag. Listen, Ten Hag has put a belief in the Manchester United fans that you guys can get top four, that you guys
I
can win the Europa League. He's put that belief in there. After those first two games, he's
I
put the belief in there.
I can't
When
be
you guys
lenient with
beat
this.
Liverpool, you knew you said in your mind. I don't know if you said it in the podcast, but you said in your mind, you know what? We might be able to get top four this year.
I can't be lenient with this. I'm sorry. No, this is accepting absolute failure. It's Aston Villa. Listen to me. It's Aston Villa, right? A chance to go to number three in the standings. Number three, a clean number three, clean number three. Very convincing. But no, we fumbled the bag. Still fifth. Tottenham dropped the ball too, so that puts us in a position of capitalizing as well.
Yeah,
Um, but still, you can't fumble games like this. It's on the platter for us, bro. So the setup's up nicely. But you clearly saw, not having Varane in the backfield and commanding and that
yeah,
defensive field played a huge part because those goals were just absolute. Like it was so
yeah.
bad. Just
It was
nobody
back.
tracking,
No communication for the
no
most part.
communication. You
Eh,
know what I'm
eh,
saying? Come on, bro.
if there is one thing that I'm going to be critical of Ten Hag for, it would be the constant, and I mean the constant play of Ericsson. He plays him every minute of every game. This guy literally,
Is
no
that? But
joke, almost died 2 years ago on the pitch. He's an older player. Like, relax, bro. He play McTominay for 45 minutes. Play Fred for 45 minutes, bro. Like, this guy Ericsson is playing every single game out of position. By the way, he's not comfortable playing um with Casemiro. As a midfield too, he should be playing further up the field. And one player we haven't talked about yet is Donny Van der Beek. We talked about it all last season, Jay. And I'll be
mm,
honest, the game he played again in the Europa League as well as this game, we have to give him time because he hasn't played football.
yeah.
He looks rusty. It looks like his knees don't work. It looks
He
like he
looks
forgot
like,
how to play
hey,
football.
he
It's
looks
not
like
good.
Casemiro. He looks like Casemiro.
He looks how Casemiro started in the beginning. 100%. Van der
Like, come
Beek
on.
now looks like Casemiro a month ago. 100%.
I,
100%.
I will definitely co-sign that. Yeah. I saw him and he didn't do anything for us, but he had moments where I saw like, okay, if he is fit, he can be a nice piece in the system as well.
He didn't give the ball away like a guy like Bruno would, for example. It's not like he was doing crazy
Exactly.
stuff. So
And I saw a lot of people raving about that, saying, "Oh, we clearly saw like what would not having Bruno do for us." To me, I mean, we just look like we panicked, bro. I don't know if people were scared or nervous or what, but the whole time Villa just looked like they were more hungry than us, bro. Um,
can we talk about one something because you said panicked and I would agree with that. I would say at the very least you guys looked uncomfortable, right? I'm going to criticize Ten Hag again, and maybe I'm coming to your side a little bit. Cristiano Ronaldo, what 2 weeks ago, walked off the pitch before the game was over, and now you make him captain. What?
that is my see. That was I was trying to relay to you when I
Okay,
was so mad about it. I'm saying, how can you go from this? You sending a message to okay, we're gonna throw him in the lineup and make him captain,
and
bro. It defeats everything. I'm sorry,
and
I
and
just I don't understand it.
100%. And here's the thing: I would also add how easy. I mean, how easy after what you guys have played 13 games. It's so easy to just make Martin as the captain. It's so easy. Like he's a clear cut captain. Clear cut. He's
And
clearly your best player
I
every single game.
I don't know if you saw that game, like saw him, but he looked so pissed, and
He's a little bro. He's literally captain material. You know what I
it
mean?
was like
Just
yeah, it was like so ironic. Like the guy that should have been captain was the most passionate one out there. Doing everything he could.
to be honest, I'm surprised he didn't make Erickson captain. He probably cooks his meals too. I mean, bro, he loves Erickson, bro. He loves Erickson.
But no, this is basically, our problem. This is what we have to fix going to next season if we want to win the title.
Yeah.
We need a B team. We need more players who can step in and fill that void or that position. And we need a leader, a clear captain. You can't go in every week switching the armband. giving it to a new person.
Real interesting point, bro. Maguire. I felt that Maguire was going to start this game. Now I'm going to give some credit to Ten Hag, right? Because Lindelof over the last few games has played really, really well for
Yeah,
Lindelof. Not like he's not on Varane levels, but he's doing his job. And
yeah.
he even did pretty decent today as well. It wasn't great, but I would say that last season, Maguire starting that game with either Ranić in charge or Ali in charge. And I think that's another thing you have to credit Ten Hag for is even some of the decisions where we're like, that's a little weird, you still kind of have to respect it a little bit because he's not just going by what uh the corporate side of Manchester United like wants, He's kind of going against the grain in some respects. Remember, Maguire's the club captain, bro. Like that's his role, that's his position, that's defined. So the fact that he's not even starting him over Lindelof is really, really interesting because he's not injured. So
I mean, yeah, we all know he's not. I mean, like we said, bro, Ten Hag is making a clear, message known that he's going to do what he wants to do. I don't believe that
yeah,
Sancho is injured.
yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it. We know Maguire's not injured. Um, I could be wrong about the Martial thing, but I know Tony was back at one point. I think he should have played. I don't know, bro. Just a lot of things that Ten Hag's doing, just like
But you gotta give him a little bit of leeway, and the reason I'm saying
no,
that is because yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, and I do. It's weird, bro. Like I'm angry about it because like this. I woke up, bro, watched this game. I was so disappointed because I'm like, damn, bro, we had to capitalize. Like, what the fuck? I've been
Yeah,
through this
yeah,
again. But at the same time, like just like you said, Ten Hag is like he's winning while he's losing because he's also showing the board like, yo, you didn't give me what I needed.
yes, and that and
So
that
like,
and that's really it, right? Like bro, and you know what? I think the perfect way to cap this off is comparing him after this first 13 games to Arteta after his first 3 seasons, right? Like,
yeah,
bro, people wanted this guy out, and now he's getting considered for the Barcelona job. You know what I mean? So, and listen, in a lot of ways, you can look at it like, you know what? Yeah, he's managed the team well. Why? Because after 6 transfer windows, it's now his team. It's the exact
yeah,
team he wanted. All the players that are playing are the players that he wanted. And I think you have to give Ten Hag that same opportunity because he's clearly going in the right direction. Whether we agree or disagree with his decisions on the day, he's clearly going in the right direction. He's bro. The fact that I think you guys are gonna get top 4 this year is crazy. I thought you guys were literally like potentially gonna not even get top 10. Like genuinely.
hey, I feel really confident about my top four. I'm pretty sure I had Liverpool in there, right?
You had Liverpool. Yeah, you did. You had it was
Yeah,
Man City, yeah, Arsenal, Liverpool.
I'm telling everyone right now, Liverpool is gonna jump Chelsea. Chelsea's gonna fall really far down. I don't see them making any major moves
Yeah.
anytime soon, bro. It's gonna be hilarious the way they fall. Um, I feel confident about that one.
I mean,
But
listen, yeah.
speaking of,
Who's going to take their place, Jay?
no, exactly. I think this is perfect. We're talking about the once former great club, and there's a club right now that's hot. They are red hot, bro. Newcastle. Those boys. I watched them. They play like just exciting football, man. It's quick, counterattack. They got Miggy over there from MLS. I don't know if a lot of y'all watch the MLS, but Miguel was a major player over there, and then he came over, and now he's with Newcastle. Looking really good. Uh, how do you feel about him, bro? Do you think they've got a top four spot? Is it solidified? Still kind of
No,
early on, but
it
they're looking hot, bro. I don't know.
it's it's not solidified because isn't their team isn't even on paper. It's not good enough to get top 4. So the reality is they're overperforming right now. I think we have to agree that they're overperforming. I don't think this is. I mean, you could even say other teams are underperforming, right? You could say Liverpool's underperforming. You could say Chelsea's underperforming. You could say Man U. I guess in my opinion, they're overperforming. But like, you could say Tottenham's underperforming. So like, I think Newcastle are just taking advantage of their opportunity right now. And I think third place for them at the moment looks good. I just don't, again, much like the Arsenal conversation, is it really sustainable? You know,
Yeah,
like Callum Wilson, the guy gets injured just as much as Martial. Isak, he's already injured.
right.
Almiron, listen, we're not going to pretend like Almiron's now some incredible player. Like, you can't go from being literally one of the worst wingers in the league for 2 seasons straight, and now you're scoring a few goals, and now like you're good all of a sudden. Like, listen,
I mean,
here's you can,
eight goals in like eight games this campaign. You know, you got to give him
every
credit.
player has a stretch. Of course, you give him credit. Of course, every player has a stretch though, and we're not going to judge this guy off 8 games. Like Mars is having a terrible season. Mars is still better than Almiron. Let's not like go crazy now. You know what I mean? So this is kind of what we're comparing to. On top of that, they're not that deep, bro. That midfield's great, but if you're subbing, if Joe Linton or bro, if Bruno Ramirez gets injured,
Yeah.
that like that's a big loss. So I think as time goes on, Newcastle will drop, but I don't think they're going to drop too far, bro. But I've been saying it. Liverpool will not get top six. I've been saying it, and I think that team that will jump them is Newcastle.
So you just think Newcastle is a team that's benefiting from, you know, the typical faces not dominating the league. And when I say
I
typical faces, I mean the Chelseas, the Liverpools. So that gap is empty right now, and there needs to be clubs to step up and
yeah.
possibly, take the ranking. And Brighton's another one. I think Brighton's still floating up in the top six right now as well. So you
Fulham's
got
another one. These teams are
Fulham,
legitimate, bro.
right?
Crystal Palace, who was in the relegation battle 2 weeks ago, is now up there as well. So it's like, bro, there's a lot of great teams in the Premier League, to be honest with you. And
Yeah,
if you're Liverpool, and you're not locked in defensively, or if you're Chelsea and you're still having trouble with picking your best 11, you're going to get exposed. You are going to get exposed. But unlike you know Chelsea, Liverpool, City, United, Tottenham, even Arsenal to some degree, these other smaller clubs, bro, they're playing their best players every single week. And if one of those players goes down, if two of those players go down, if a couple of those players stop performing, like that's when it gets bad. So Newcastle have to do so much just to stay where they're at. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
and Liverpool just kind of have to turn it on a little bit to go up the ladder. So
Hey, solid. Um, I definitely agree with that. I still think Liverpool is gonna somehow get a top four spot. I don't know why, but I see him creeping up there at the end.
it's definitely based
And
on it. It's based on on the credibility from seasons past, bro. Like
I mean
I think,
that,
yeah. Go ahead.
no, definitely that. But you just got to go off of what they've done this season too. Like, yeah, we're looking at the rankings right now, right? Where they lost some games, but when it comes to the big games, they just had one this weekend as well against the Spurs. They pulled it off again.
I
City,
don't.
Spurs, they wake up for the big games,
But
bro.
they lost to Man U and Arsenal, so it's like,
Well,
Jay.
one. It's Man U. Everyone loses to us at some point.
But it's a big game. I mean, here's what I'm saying. You said they get up for the big games, but they've in the 5 big games that they've played, they've won two, drawn two, lost two, and drawn one against Chelsea. So
So that's more points than losses. Is what we're saying
did
here.
they play Chelsea? I don't know if they played
I don't know.
Chelsea actually. If
Maybe
so,
not yet.
if so, I completely forgot. But yeah, what I'm kind of saying here, Jay, is like with that Tottenham game, I think that's a completely different story than the Man City game. That's bro, that's Tottenham, bro. This Tottenham team, and maybe we can talk about it. Exposed for who they really are. When you play, if you're a manager of Conte's level and you think that you can just play 5 defenders, 2 defensive midfielders, pack the box, you know, that's not going to work when your defenders are crap. Some of those 2 goals, bro, the goal that oh my gosh, the goal that Nunez passed to Salah for I think it was the first goal.
Yeah,
It's like some of the it's under 12 defending. It's
yeah.
horrendous.
It's
It's
basic level for the defending.
bro. Like guys not even picking up in the box, bro. It's so
Yeah,
bad. People are talking about Dyer having a good season, and stop it, bro.
he
This
was,
it's
he was, he
terrible
was. But
for
yeah,
Dyer though. Like
let's
it's
let's let's be real, bro. The Spurs just they go play football because it's exciting. Um, that's why they like playing football. They like the crowd roaring, screaming, getting a few goals here and there, but they don't play football because it means something and because, they want to beat you. And that's how I feel about Conte and his teams. He needs to be sacked. He's the next manager. Um, the dude just, bro, it's on him. It is on him. His teams don't wake up for the big games. Um,
but
they get
even then,
smacked
Jay.
around. You already said it. Like, what are you doing? You're playing this. Your the lineup that you bring to the table isn't good enough. You know.
He doesn't really change it that much. He only changes it out of necessity. He's finally playing Basuma in a midfield three, and by the way, Basuma looks good. Basuma looks good in that midfield three is the best thing they got going, bro.
You're
It
you're essentially wasting Harry Kane's time that he has left.
but
Human Son
Harry
time
Kane's
that he
wasting
has
Harry.
left.
I don't buy that because Harry Kane's wasting his own time, bro. But why you sign a new contract if it's such a big like? My thing with Harry Kane, bro, in a lot
He's
of ways,
scoring goals though. He's scoring. He's doing what he has to do. You feel me? So
bro,
you can't say it's him.
in a lot of ways, I feel really bad for him because, and actually, one of the comment I was thinking about this, and then one of the commentators just said it. They were like, Harry Kane's the best finisher on the team, but he's also the best creator on the team. So it's very, very tough. Like in an ideal world, Harry Kane would create a goal for Harry Kane, but there's only one of them. So it's really, really difficult for him to be playing when there's no creative midfielder. There's, he doesn't get good service. There's nothing to the team, and I think Conte has a lot to do with that in terms of the way he sets up his team.
Okay.
But I don't know, Jay. I mean, at the same time, do you really fire Conte? You guys are in fourth right now. They're in fourth with 26. You don't fire
Hey,
him. You don't
what did
fire him.
Chelsea? What did Chelsea do?
Yeah, I mean Chelsea. Okay,
And
listen. First off,
and
Chelsea
and
was
they,
performing
and
a
they were
lot
the
worse.
and they no, but they were the higher standard. You just won a Champions League not even what 2 to 3 years ago. Like, come
Okay,
on, what?
but also here's the thing, right? Also here's the thing, and it's really important to note this: when you're firing a manager, especially at the level that in the Premier League, like you have to know who your next manager is going to be. And if we're saying, okay, we're going to fire Conte, who's the next manager, bro?
Hey, there's been rumblings that
Are we saying Tuchel now?
I was gonna say Tuchel, but hey, Poach might be back for his job, man. Think he might be coming back to England.
And what would that do? You think that's all of a sudden going to reignite everything? I mean,
What do you mean? They were a contender when he was there, and that team now is better than when he had, in my opinion, when he
yeah,
So why not?
towards the end of his spell, yeah, I would say so. I would say so. But I don't know. I think Tottenham have made so many big mistakes. Listen, at the end of the day, when you had Mourinho and he got you to a Carabao Cup final, and then you sacked him the week before, I don't know where your goals are. I don't know where your goals are as a club. It's clearly not winning. You clearly don't want to win a trophy because that's asinine. I don't care if Mourinho, you know, insulted your wife. You don't sack him a week before he might win the trophy. You know what I mean? And then when we played the Carabao
uh,
when we played that final, bro, I was chilling. I was like, oh yeah, we won this already because you know the only person I was scared of on Tottenham was Mourinho, and and he's gone. So I don't know what Tottenham wants. I don't think they're going to sack their manager, but at the same time, based on what I just said, they probably will. And I think that's going to be a really stupid thing. I definitely wouldn't want Conte coaching my team because I think he's extremely naive. I don't think he gets the best out of his team. I don't think he rotates his team enough. The fact that Emerson Royale and Doherty are playing over Jed Spence yet again. Jed Spence wasn't even on the bench today. He wasn't. He didn't even make the bench. 19 million. Sessegnon looks like Sessegnon doesn't look like he knows how to play football. Perisic, they put him at a number 10. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful, but he just doesn't. Perisic is playing number 10. Like, I don't know, Jay. I mean, how long did Basuma not start for?
Yeah.
He didn't start him for the first 10 games. So like, I don't know. I don't know, Jay. This stuff kind of makes me confident. Like, maybe when I'm like 40, I might get a management, bro, because I think I could do better than these guys. I really do. Because I
Yeah,
really
I know
do.
you can, bro. Keep striving, bro. Because like you said, to me, the guy he's outdated. He's outdated. I
Yes,
think that's
out
what it is.
or he's in a league that plays a lot different, right? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
it's difficult to say outdated if he just won a championship with Inter, but
Right, right,
you know
right. But I think you made it a great point. It's a league that doesn't cater to his his playing style
his style,
uh
yes,
anymore. This is a young man's type of sport. A young man's type of game. That's why Pep is able to stay afloat. The pace of his game competes with like Arsenal. Um,
yeah,
you know, Newcastle was also like that way as well. Very just high
yes,
tempo, up tempo.
good
So
point,
yeah,
yeah,
I definitely agree with you on that.
yeah. I mean, overall, it's definitely spicy for sure. Um, I will mention this before we close it out, Jay. Um, Obviously, this season we've had our history, and maybe mainly me, but I think you've kind of been in this a little bit. We've had our history with the whole Nunez sort of discussion.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I still think he's a little bit. I can't say rusty because he's playing every week now. I, there's still something about him where I'm like, is this guy good or is he or not? I don't really know because like there's some things that he does where I'm like, I can't believe I just watched a professional footballer do that. But then he's like doing an incredible volley strike, and I'm
Mhm,
like, what?
mhm.
Nunez is a player that either over time he's either those mistakes are gonna sort of like filter out of his game,
Yeah.
or he's gonna just be a type of player where he's just not reliable enough to start games, and his career might go downhill. I don't know, but right now, I still listen. I'm all about if I get proven wrong, I get proven wrong. It is what it is.
Yo, his ceiling is crazy, bro. He's a unicorn. I'm gonna say this. We gonna leave out on this note.
His ceiling,
It's it it's either check me out. It's either Zlatan, right, or Fellaini.
yeah, you kind of it kind of is, bro. I mean, listen, Fellaini
he
wasn't a bad player, but
he
yeah,
wasn't a black player, right? But he was also a mockery kind of. Like Fellaini was just doing some stupid
yeah,
shit, and he
yeah.
would bang in something crazy. I can see Darwin kind of being that player if he doesn't pan out to be someone that's you
I
know
still
world
honestly think
class.
I still think Andy Carroll's the best comparison, and the reason I say that is because Andy Carroll bro, there's a reason why Liverpool bought him for 30 mil. He was good, like
Yeah.
he had some really good moments. Like don't get it twisted, but yeah, I don't know, bro, because like he for the Salah goal, he had a really nice assist. He brought it down, he passed it
Yes.
to
Yes. I
like
was texting my boy Todd, like, yo, I see you guys. Nice build up. Controlling the game early
it's a good
on.
goal. It's a really good
I
goal.
knew like when I saw the first like 10 minutes of that game, I knew Liverpool was gonna win.
Yeah,
Spurs looked like they had no interest in trying to
but that's
compete like that.
That's going back to the Tottenham conversation. That's just who they are. If there's one
Yeah.
team that's going to that's going to disappoint you this season, you would think it's Liverpool. But the reality is the other team is Tottenham. So um,
Yeah.
it just gets worse and worse for those guys.
Crazy, bro. But nah, good talk, man.
Yeah, good talk, good talk. So this week we have Carabao Cup games. There was actually some FA Cup games this weekend, but it
Yes,
was
sir.
none of the Premier League teams. But yeah, Carabao Cup. This is the big game. I really wish Tuchel was in charge, but it's Man City Chelsea on Wednesday. Um, I really hope we play a strong team. I mean, our B team is pretty strong, but you could also say that Chelsea's B team is pretty strong as well. So
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
definitely will be watching that game. We'll probably talk about it later in the week. Um, you guys are playing Villa again, and you know what's really interesting about
Yes.
this, Jay? I don't know if you remember last season, but you guys played West Ham in the league,
And
and then that same week you guys played West Ham in the Carabao Cup.
again, yeah, I do remember. Yes.
Really weird that this is happening again, but with Villa. It's really weird. I don't know if that's like a thing that they're doing on purpose
I
or
mean, so
what. I mean,
we're about to smack Villa. We're about to smack.
I was about to say, what's your predictions here? I think you guys just run through Villa
I
now.
say 3-0. Us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I probably
Or
say the same.
if we get Anthony back. Um, I could see
If Sancho decides to show up to work, or if they
Sancho
let him
start.
back in the building.
I definitely think Rashford's gonna bang in one though. He
Oh
starts.
yeah,
I think he's destined
oh
for
yeah.
one.
I can't wait for him to tweet about it too. Um, last thing to close out. Predictions on the Man City Chelsea game for you. I think we're gonna win. Yeah, probably 2-1. What about you? I think we're home too. Hopefully.
I'm going 2-1 Chelsea.
All right, and that's the end of this podcast. So you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Wrongly predicting the Manchester City versus Chelsea Carabao Cup game at the Best of Rivals. That is at the Best of Rivals. You can also tune into this podcast, the video or audio version on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts at the Best of Rivals podcast. That is at the Best of Rivals podcast. With myself, or for myself, for Jay and his terrible predictions and his terrible team that loses
Now,
every
hey,
week.
money line Chelsea. Telling you guys.
Money. Imagine. Hey, we'll remember this for Friday. With that,
Uh,
episode 48, baby. We are out.